Hey guys, and welcome back to another exciting week of stock trading. But this week I have a couple of oversold bounces that I'm really focused on, and I'm going to share it in this video. But before I keep going, I actually got a new microphone from a free new microphone from a sponsor, and they're called Mrna, and this was the box that it came in. And it looks really sturdy, and I'm just testing out this microphone to see how it is. And it's this cute little microphone that I have right here. This is for the speakers, or this is for the mic, and this is for the speakers that I can actually listen on this microphone. And I can actually or push to mute. And there's also the omnidirectional versus the cardioid dual switch system. So I'm just testing it out to see compared to my previous audio quality how it is. So let me know in the comments below what you think, if this audio is a little bit better or my other videos. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And I really do appreciate them giving me this microphone for free. I will put the link of this microphone in the description below. I think that it's a pretty reasonable price microphone for just day-to-day need, even if you have Zoom meetings or just chatting with friends. And as I said, I'm trying to record this video with this mic, so let's see how that goes. And without further ado, I'm going to get into the couple of charts that I'm really interested in. Before I get into this chart, I want to explain a little bit more about what oversold bounces are and how we can play this. What an oversold bounce is something that is selling off at an extreme measure, and it's selling. The shorts are piling on until it gets to a breaking point. And when that breaking point hits, usually a support level or just a big quick break below a support level, that's when all the shorts start to cover and the momentum shifts violently the other way. The people that are sitting on the sideline are starting to pile in for this oversold bounce, and the shorts cover and thus drive the volume up and pushes the price right back up. And that's what we're watching on a couple of these charts here. And the first one is Mrna. So looking at this chart here. So what we have here is we had an equilibrium up here on pretty much like a weekly bull pennant, I would say, which broke down. This gave a bear flag move right over here. So broke down, bear flag move, another leg down, and this is where it starts getting juicy, because looking at the technicals here, and the technicals, the indicator using the Bollinger Bands, and this was a drive down because Mrna actually had poor earnings reports, and they just weren't selling vaccines as hard. But what you see here is this is the third deviation of the Bollinger Band, and it's actually extended below it. So I actually had a first entry at 215 today, because looking at this range here, this was the support level right around here, around the 220, 200 to 210 mark, right around this range, where it, if you take a look closer here on the 8-hour chart, look at the amount of trading that it got in this zone right over here. And now we got a violent drop all the way back to this zone, and I'm up about 10% on this trade already, because it did close at 237. So I actually got in pretty much right at the low here. It hit 211, and that's when the bounce happened. And now we're actually watching for this possible volume climax reversal candle, doji reversal candle. And I'm looking at around 266 for a possible Fibonacci move back to the 0.382. And that will be a pretty decent move even from this range. That's another 20% up. The next chart I'm watching here, once again, look at the third deviation of the Bollinger Band. It is actually extended below it, and very few charts are actually do that without bouncing. If you look at the history of this chart, we actually basically almost never see it past the third deviation. Here we had an earnings, we had a drop. It touched the third deviation down here before it actually bounced. And another time, right around, I would say right around here where it dropped, but it didn't even touch, it just broke the second deviation on another earnings day before it bounced. So what I'm watching is I'm watching for an entry around the $50 zone. If we get another day gap down, that's where it gets very, very interesting, because that's when the shorts are saying, hey, you know what, it's time to cover, and we're going to get a drive back up. And that's a likely scenario here. Now here, looking at a shorter time frame oversold bounce is Nflx. Now a very interesting play is the all-time high move leading to the first hour oversold bounce. So look at the hourly chart. We have the RSI dropping right around the 20 range, and we're coming back down to this zone here around the 640, 630 range, which actually lines up with the 0.786, because we're right at the golden pocket, but there's not much clear support at this zone here. So I'm anticipating if we get another weekday here, we're going to get to this zone, and we're going to get to 4-hour oversold, and that's where we're going to get the bounce. So my anticipation for this play is to get my first entry maybe 635 on this move, and we'll see if it actually fades. And that is a possibility, because let's look at a chart. That's one of the dangers about playing oversold bounces is, let's take a look at a chart like Snap. And Snap, if you see here, on this move down, this had a major sell-off. It actually did go past the third deviation, but what happens is that it started to trade sideways into this zone of support around this 48, 50 zone. So you see this lower trend line acts as support in this zone right over here. So it actually hit around the 51.66 zone as the low and traded sideways. So the bounce might not actually come. So we have to be careful with plays like these. So the first thing to do is to not add huge size, is to add a first position. You play, you add a little bit in, and once you see a confirmation like what happened on Mrna, once you start seeing this move back up, you can start adding a second position. You can average up a little, and you can set your stop at the low at 210 here to limit your risk, because it could very well bounce, do a short-term bounce, and just fade into the zone of support and just kind of hover right over here and not really move. In the comments below, let me know what your thoughts are on oversold bounces. Are you going to be paying attention to Mrna, Pton, or Nflx this coming week? Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys next time. And let's see what the results are this coming week.